That's a sagebrush. Why am I talking like this? I'm gonna get bit. I'm gonna get bit by a rattlesnake if I'm not careful here. Howdy ho friends, Alan Bryce here, and welcome to my DAOpunks Cohort 3 video, number 5, Update Spectacular. Today we are in the desert, the Idaho desert more specifically, as I like to call it, and we are continuing to talk about and discuss, well, we're not so much discussing, it's more just me talking on camera, what it means to me to be a DAOpunk. And to help illustrate this point today, I managed to find myself at a wind farm, hence it being windy, so I hope all this comes through. I have the little windscreen on here. But here, in this part of southern Idaho where I grew up, by the way, none of this was here when I was growing up. This is all kind of new to me. We have just tens, if not hundreds, of wind turbines up here dotting the Idaho desert landscape. Down there you can see a bit of valley where all the action happens. And then this is actually, I didn't know this, I've lived here, or I lived here from my youth. I never actually made it up here very often, or not that I remember, but this is a historical site. The Oregon Trail Lookout, an actual route came through here. Gosh, look at that, look at that. Nothingness. It's very beautiful in a way that I'm not too familiar with in Japan. This is amazing. It's good to be back here. I'm rambling. So a little bit of housekeeping. Usually, well, actually for the last couple of videos, I've been writing out a full script and then just kind of reading off that script. It's been going okay. It's nice to kind of have all my thoughts down. Today over coffee, I just started jotting down some bullet points. I don't have a full script, so we're just kind of gonna do it old school, shooting from the hip. There'll be a fair amount of rambling. There usually is a fair amount of rambling, but stick with me here. And there's gonna be some rough cuts because I'm gonna have to look down and gather my thoughts in between things. But yeah, like I said at the top, we're out here today discussing what it means to be a DAOpunk to me. One of the main themes of the DAOpunks being escaping the drudgery of default work. So in our first video, just to recap real quick, I told a little bit about myself. In the second video, we dug right into work default. In the third video, we talked about life default. In the fourth video, I'm running out of fingers here, we talked about communication default. And in today's video, I would like to talk a little bit about complacency and default complacency. So let's get into that. I was going to kind of trying to continue that train metaphor that I was using before. And like I said, I got up for coffee and I started writing it down. It's like, you know, I could make this train thing work. Think of it like a loop line. We have a big loop in Osaka where I live called the Osaka Loop Line. And then I was like, you know what? We got all these wind turbines out here. Why don't I post up real close to one of these wind turbines? As it turns out, you know, we drove around for a while looking for a place. We found one that was fairly close, but it just kind of wasn't going to be a good shot. Maybe I'll throw in some B-roll of getting up close there. And then we ended up kind of doubling back on the route we came, and we have this little, it's a historic site, so there's some, you know, covered picnic tables and a bathroom and parking, and so we just ended up here. I think it turned out great. Very happy with this location. Again, I'm rambling as I'm looking through my notes. So as part of Enter First Hard Cut, so as part of the talking about the complacency default, and the reason I wanted to use these wind turbines is today I kind of wanted to talk about rotation, like I said, with the loop line. And I want to talk about this because I think we kind of have this, this tendency of this romantic vision that if we make, you know, all the right moves in our life and check all the right boxes, then everything will be right with the world. But in my opinion, in my experience, that's more fantasy and it never kind of actually is reality. So I wanted to kind of dive into that. Like I said, I was going to use the train metaphor, analogy, whichever. I'm not too good with English. And then I thought about the wind turbines. But as I started jotting down my notes this morning, I started thinking about the universe, man. So yes, so we're gonna use kind of the example of the universe to help us illustrate our point today. Hold on to your butts. That was like a 5-minute intro already. I was trying to keep it short. Again, I didn't say it, but I just did, so we're kind of doing it now. Stick with me here. Whoa, the wind's really picking up now. Hope we get this in. So let's for a moment imagine like a circle. We have like a circle kind of rotating around, much like this wind turbine behind me, or all these wind turbines behind me, except the ones that are kind of on holiday or taking a lunch break or whatever. They're not moving right now. But we kind of have this constant rotation. And imagine this rotation is moving along a line. And the line I kind of imagine as being time, which is kind of the great equalizer. In a way, it's the same constant for all of us, even though, you know, some of us will have more than others. We kind of, everyone's minute is the same minute, right? So then I was kind of, you know, maybe I need something bigger. So I thought, you know, this is kind of like the universe, almost kind of like a solar system. Yeah, here, fly. What I mean by that is you can imagine you being inside a galaxy. You are the solar system. You are your own solar system. You are the star. You are the sun, let's say. And you are kind of constantly rotating. And then around you, you have, I'm going to really mess up this astrophysics stuff. Around you kind of have the planetary bodies, right? And they all kind of have their own rotation and their own orbit. So, gosh, Alan, what are you getting at here? So what I'm getting at is that your work is never done. And that's where I want to talk about default complacency. You know, like I said, we get comfortable and we think, oh yeah, I did it. Or more often than not, we think, you know, if I just get to this point, if I just reach this peak, if I just kind of make these adjustments in my life, then I'm finished. And you know what, I did it. But it doesn't finish, it just kind of evolves. And that's kind of really at the heart of this complacency thing. So if you imagine that the planets are kind of the games you're playing in your life, and I don't mean this like in the kids' frame of mind, like, but I think you can all kind of understand the game of life. If your planets are the games that you are playing and one of your planets stops spinning, well, it's probably game over for that planet, that game. But that's okay. Like I talked about, you need to be constantly asking yourself, am I playing the right games? If I'm not, then change the rules or change the game. So essentially, you know, that planet's not working out for you. You are changing the game. Maybe you have another planet that swaps in, but you're still kind of moving forward and you're still rotating. Maybe it wasn't worthwhile, but it's good that you thought about that and that you had that conversation with yourself, as I talked about in the other video. The planets that remain in your orbit that you want to keep there in your gravity, well, they will continue to keep spinning. This meaning that it's not like your solar system just gets to a point predetermined by you or society, and then it's just mission accomplished and everything just shuts down and stops spinning. That's called death. That's when your star stops burning. That is the ultimate game over. That's not what we're talking about today. I think you kind of know what I mean, but I just, you know, thought I'd put that out there. So the games you're playing, the planets in your orbit, you are always, it's not like you're at the beginning and then you're at the middle and then you're at the end, because it's a rotation. It's always coming back. So you are always at all points. You're at the beginning, the middle, and the end. As such, you need to constantly be evaluating, you know, be evolving. It doesn't mean that you need to be going 10 times the speed of light. Rates will and should vary between individuals, but you should be aware of it. And that's like the big thing. That's what people don't realize when they get too complacent, too comfortable. They lose awareness about just themselves and the world around them, and then just things get out of control. Again, speaking for myself. So, you know, don't rest. Don't get too comfortable. Don't let that default complacency creep in and overtake your life. Don't allow too many planets into your solar system, because this is like, we all talk about having too many plates spinning, too many planets, too much to keep track of. You know what's going to happen? You get that going and you're going to end up in Armageddon. Maybe don't wait for an Armageddon moment like I did, because Bruce Willis and his merry band of misfits are not coming to save you. Yes, I just did make a movie reference. I really enjoyed that movie. I saw it 3 times in the 90s. I'm not ashamed to say it. So again, the big thing here is be aware. Like the complacency one, that can affect all of the other things below it, because that is work, that is communication, that is life, that is everything. So for me, to stay punk, to stay DAOpunk, to avoid the default, I'm trying my best to avoid default complacency. In my life, that means to always be evolving. Again, I rambled quite a bit here. Nothing but good vibes though. Hope you enjoyed the location. I hope the wind wasn't too much. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week for my final of the 6 videos for cohort 3. Until then, later taters. That makes even more sense now that you know I'm from Idaho. Laters. Wow, that was a hot man. That was a way too many takes and way all over the place. It's gonna be a hot time in the edit room tonight. Not looking forward to that. Maybe I should draw a picture. Yeah. I don't know how to draw.